I found out by my grandma, 83F, that my GF, 21F, is my 22M, third cousin. I'm with my girlfriend for 5 months now, and yesterday I called my grandma and she asked me what the surname of my girlfriend is, because they both come from the same town. My grandma then told me that the grandma of my girlfriend is the cousin of my grandma. So the great-grandma of my GF is the aunt of my grandma, sister of her father. She knows because she recognized the surname. I don't know what to do now. I have a different surname than my grandma or my mother, because my parents divorced some years ago. But my grandma is close to her cousin and she will definitely tell her, because they chat often. I somehow feel weird being in some way related to my girlfriend. I don't think she knows we are somewhat related. And I feel really awkward, especially in front of my grandma or mother, aunt and uncle. I never in my life met my grandma's cousins, brother, aunts, etc., and don't even know how they are called. I just knew that my grandma had some distant family in her hometown. I met my girlfriend on Tinder and we since hooked up and love each other, but this information really killed the romantic view for my GF. I really don't know how to move forward from here. TLDR. My grandma's cousin is the grandma of my girlfriend. We share the same great-great-grandparents. And I don't know how to handle the relationship anymore. Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were third cousins, if that makes you feel a bit more royal. In all seriousness though, have a convo with her and see how she feels. Everyone is cousins if you're good enough at genealogy. This is not relevant, more than distant enough to be a non-issue. A third cousin is barely a relation at all. You could actually be more closely related to some rondo on the street than a third cousin. It's literally not a big deal at all, unless you can't get over it. But this information really killed the romantic view for my GF. Unfortunately, that's gotta be respected. Give her some time if she's still sorting out her feelings. But if she thinks this is a deal breaker, then you are going to have to move on. And even if she eventually decides it's okay, that doesn't mean it has to be okay for you. If you do decide you both want to be together regardless, I honestly don't see the problem. Then break up with her. All of your replies have been similar too. This is too close. If you can't deal with it, then do yourselves a favor and end it. Right. So, please take what I'm about to say with a pinch of salt. People's tones almost always come across as bitchy. But I don't mean to when I say this. I've been reading all of the comments and it's clear to see that the only problem in this is you. Third cousins is nothing. It really isn't. You guys practically have no shared DNA and everyone is related. In one way or another. We're humans. It's kinda how it works. However, no matter how much people remind you of this, you keep on saying that it feels wrong, so there is only one thing you can do. Break up with her. You think it's wrong, so that's all that matters really. But you are wrong, and I honestly think you could be happy if you just stop standing in your own way. That is a very distant relation, not worth worrying about unless it just creeps you out. Third cousin equals kissing cousins. In the old days, that's what third cousins were called. Just an FYI. Hey, less expensive mariage when the two families are actually one. Third cousins is far enough removed to not matter at all. Saw all your comments below. What other people think doesn't matter. And since you are not close with a bunch of your relatives, it won't come up where you live with others ever unless you both bring it up. And as everyone else has said, third cousins are considered far enough apart that it isn't a genetic or legal issue. But it's an issue if it bothers you. And it sounds like it does. In all fairness, you need to tell her ASAP. Then you can both individually and together sort out your feelings. It's only a big deal if you make it a big deal. So make it your wedding theme. Get shirts that say, "I married my cousin." If you truly love each other, it's not a big deal. As everyone has told you, it's such a distant relationship that it's insignificant. Your weird feeling is based on a misconception. Up to you whether you love her enough to get over it or not. My uncle married aunt of my partner. So no blood, but we are basically cousins. We also share same cousins, their kids. Do we care? Hell no. Tears of joy. We could be considered more related than you two. You share basically no blood at all. Crazy how everyone here is on board for the cousin lovin'. Sorry for your loss, bruh. Rip it off like a band-aid and move on. Preferably to someone else's family tree. Since you think you can't get over it but you love her and don't want to end it, talk to her about it to confirm the details are true and then seek therapy to help you work out what to do. This doesn't matter. There are 2 reasons why incest is problematic and not acceptable in society: the growing up in a family relation part, which you do not have, and the genetic element, which is not an issue either. 0.78125% is the shared DNA of you and your third cousin. It is even possible not to share any DNA with them. Second cousins are fine to marry. My cousin is dating our second cousin and there is no issue with that whatsoever. Many places of the world accept first cousins marrying, although that is genetically ill-advised. The amount of time where humans have been able to meet people outside of the village they were born in has been really short. I assure you that plenty of your angsters were second, third, fourth cousins. My GE and parents are third cousins. It's not a thing when you're that far apart. Not like you were raised as family and the genetics are varied enough that your kids won't have issues if you choose to have any. Thousands and thousands of people are your third cousin. Who cares? My grandma then told me that the grandma of my girlfriend is the cousin of my grandma. This is not third cousins. In order to be third cousins, your grandma and her grandma would need to be sisters, not cousins. Chill out, there is nothing wrong here.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.